I'm Salome with Tadias magazine. I'm here at NYU with New York Times photographer Chester Higgins Jr. He's exhibiting 13 portraits that he took from Ethiopia here at the Kimmel Center window. Please come and check them out. They're exquisite. Take a look. Beautiful pictures from one end to the other. 13 pictures. How are you?
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Nice to meet you. It's an
Same here.
honor
Thank you, thank you.
to meet you.
Thank you.
So now you're showing 13 pictures at the Kimmel Center windows, right? Can you tell me a little bit about it?
How this came to be?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, about 5 years ago, well, actually before that, I started taking studio lights to Ethiopia to photograph antiquity sites at night. So I worked a lot in Lalibela and with the churches, in Gondar, with the castles.
Oh, wow.
And then after spending a few years trying to perfect that, I decided to do to take a field studio. So I could photograph people in different villages. So the studio has about 7 strobes. It's like a New York City high fashion studio, but instead of bringing the people to New York, I took the studio there. And in my mind, my criteria is I'm looking for people who are comfortable in their skin and who have a sense of dignity about themselves. Because I'm trying to portray, I want to do a sympathetic portrayal. It's not about being beautiful or ugly, because I look for what's inside the person. And this woman, I just thought, look at that face. I mean, you can't, I mean, what time are we talking about? Is that now? Is that like 1,000 years ago? Is that, I mean, this face is just so timeless. And then I love the lines and faces. We call them wrinkles, but I like to call them, lines of time, to show the wisdom, lifelines. And, just the subtleties of it, and the skin. And the way I shoot this with the lights, with the studio lights and a tripod, I'm able to get enough kind of quality that, you just see the break of, of the layering of the skin itself. The skin is not a smooth thing. It's like a wave, it's like water. Water, if you look at it in one hand, it's very smooth, but if you get very close to it, it fragmatizes, and the skin is the same way.
I never thought about it, but you can see.
See, look at all of this, yes.
Wow, yeah.
All of this that you get out of this when the quality is there. And it's that kind of quality that allows us to do a 6 foot by 7 foot blow up.
Wow, amazing.
But I couldn't get it if I didn't have studio lighting.
Okay. So
if you just go and just shoot people on a natural light, you're not going to get this kind of quality.
Wow.
Lighting is half of what makes these things work the way they do. So
that's amazing. How old do you think she is?
Well, that's a good question. I would say that she's, in her late 70s or early 80s, but, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she's sure.
Yeah, because sometimes they don't know.
Right. But I would say that, she had, but, I could be also wrong and could be thrown off because, this is out in the desert.
Yeah.
So the impact of the wind, the hot wind and the sun can age you and have, sailors have the same issues.
Yeah, okay.
Because sailors face weather faster because of the wind out on the ocean. So I'm not sure, but I say I feel completely convinced she's over 70.
Yes, absolutely.
How much over 70, I don't know.
Yeah.
And here is another, actually, he's from the same village, because I think I photographed, this was in a village in Awash National Park.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So here, our farmman. But, there again.
It's amazing.
He's comfortable in himself.
I like the garment.
Yes.
So
isn't it great?
It's very beautiful, and you can see everything.
Now, isn't she beautiful? Nice teenager,
Beautiful.
I would say she's what, 13, 14?
Young woman. Yes, probably.
And this is her pocketbook.
It's interesting because she's kind of dressed very modern at the same time being very traditional. Can you see that, like the t-shirt and stuff?
Yep. And that contrast says something about the transition of a culture.
Yes, yes.
They're transitioning from a more traditional culture to modern.
Yes.
And this girl, this is on a market day.
Well, I am thrown by that T-shirt.
And then her cowrie shells
Yes.
and the bees. I don't know where they get these cowrie shells, because you think of an ocean, you know, with cowrie
Yeah,
shells, but cowrie shells are everywhere. And the calabash being a wallet, and how she
I like her
how she accessorizes it.
Yes.
I mean, you know, it's serious.
She's 13, and
Yeah, you know, this accessorizing here. I mean, you know, this is like, whoa, okay. And a little
nice.
it's just really
And
working.
her hair stuff too.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
She's got it working, you know. She has definitely put some creativity in it, you know. I loved
Very
it.
nice.
I loved it. This is in Lalibela,
On Lalibela.
doing Ghana. And in fact, the first guy who taught me photography down in Tuskegee, Alabama, some of the most important pictures of his that I love when I first saw his pictures were pictures of very dignified farmers.
Wow.
And I said, well, how did you get these pictures? He said, well, I live on this street, and on market day, these people will come in town. If I see somebody look like they were a great picture, I'll run out after them
Okay.
and beg them to come into my studio and make a picture. I found myself doing the same thing, using his,
Yeah.
what he did in the 30s.
You did
I
it
thought I was doing.
She's a, what do you call, monk, probably?
No, I don't know if she could be, because usually the monks, the women monks have this head, they have a hat, but they usually have a cross in their hat.
Ah, okay.
So she doesn't have that. So I think that she's just a pilgrim. And then the fabric.
Yeah, the gabi.
You know,
That's
yeah.
why it's so detailed. You can see everything.
Yeah.
Like the gabi.
You see the weave of it?
Yes.
And then, so here you see my lights. You see you're getting light from the main light, but you're getting a light over here, and there's a light over here. So now we have her and not him.
Not him. It's her, yeah.
They should have been Amhara woman. Okay. Now,
Oh, she's beautiful.
this child is I'm sorry, this child is my favorite.
She's beautiful.
Isn't
Look
this
at those
child?
beautiful lips.
Isn't she? In fact, just she's a piece of sculpture, you know, in black stone. It's just absolutely divine.
Beautiful.
The women in the southern nations usually wear no tops. They wear bottoms,
Yes.
but no tops.
Yeah.
And I'm not the first person to go to the southern nations to make pictures.
Yeah.
I may be the first African American that you've seen that I know about, but most of the pictures are taken tend to approach the people more as exotic
Okay.
and primitive, and as sexual objects. So that the breasts, you know, you see
out.
they are looked at. I mean, there's nothing wrong with. I mean, it's that the breasts are looked at as a sexual thing as opposed to a natural thing.
Okay.
So with me, I always tried to shoot when I had to deal with tops with breasts exposed. I tried to shoot it overall in such a way to de-emphasize the sexual nature of the breasts.
Oh, that's beautiful that you did that.
But to incorporate, you know, so it does, I'm not trying to define the person on their sexuality.
Right.
I want to look at the whole person. So I would de-emphasize. I would either change my angle, I would use the things that they're wearing. So if you see here, you see a suggestion
Yes.
of her breast, but you don't really see
See
that
it,
because I don't want that to take away from
Her look.
what's important, who she is, a whole total package here. Here's our city boy.
Okay. Yes.
Here's our city boy.
Yeah.
With his cool look,
Yes.
down to his sunglasses. I'm horror man.
He looks like a New Yorker.
Looks like a New Yorker, you know? I know his name is Tedros. I sent an email to Tedros and I sent him this picture. And Tedros says, oh, this is great. I've always wanted to be in New York. Now, this is an interesting one. Gananatan. Now, this is in a village near the Omo River.
Okay. Omar.
And I thought, you know, the bees, but then the key is a nice touch. There again, we're looking at transition. Where you saw the young girl with the T-shirt.
That's, yeah.
Here you see the transition here, from tradition to modernity. Here I had a problem with contrast. Look at this brown. It can get muddy between the black and the brown. So you have to really use a lot of light to fill that out and to distinguish it.
Wow, it's amazing what light can do.
Light is my mistress.
Yeah.
Here's a Hama woman down in Turmi. Now this is a Dasanech man. We go to a lot of villages, and this was a village with the Dasanech, and this is a young Dasanech warrior.
Okay.
Suri, a Suri woman. Well, if you Google Suri,
I know.
which is a new name, they also call people sometimes also call them the Surma. I don't know if you know anything about Egyptology, but King Tut's ears are like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know.
Yes. And you see the earrings that King Tut had, they were like, big screws that went into the ear.
Wow.
That hung down. The ears are just like that.
So maybe how it doesn't break the ear.
Right.
Like,
Well, that's true.
It must be because it's because a lot of people here, if they put heavy metal earrings, it will tear. But it's not happening here.
Right.
Maybe
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know why.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah. Afar man. You know the Afar people.
Handsome.
Well, thank you. That's good. I have to tell him that you said that.
Did you talk with him?
I didn't talk with him, but my interpreters talked to him. But Afar men don't like to be photographed.
Okay.
Afar people don't like to be photographed.
Why is that?
And the men more so than not. I don't know, but then maybe it's it's the warrior nature about them, or maybe they think something about the camera. But it was very hard. I go through a lot of Afar people to get a yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this
Most Afar people give me a no.
We gotta hunt someone.
Yeah. So now this one I have to tell you is that what he has in his hair is a lot of butter.
Okay.
In this country, they have, back in the 70s, had Jerry curl.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it was what he had because I can't speak, but I want to change his face.
Right.
So I did this. I sort of used my fingers. I took a finger and I did this and this to move it, to move it up, whatever. I took back my hair. I took back my hair. It was full of oil.
Did someone tell you then it's butter?
Afterwards. Because it smelled. It was rank. So oh, that's butter. They use butter. And this child, she's beautiful, isn't she?
Beautiful, yeah.
Ah, beautiful woman. I'm Hara woman.
Yeah.
A pilgrim doing Ghana.
Okay.
In Luxor. I mean in Lalibela. It's absolutely stunning. This is a picture of a guy who in Tigray, farmer.
But what kind of hat is he wearing?
This is a hat made out of some animal material.
Knew it. I knew it. I was like,
yeah, I don't know if it's sheep.
Wow, it would be expensive here.
It would be very expensive here.
Yeah.
But in Tigray, it gets very cold.
Okay.
So it's perfect for him.
Yeah. He's
It keeps
handsome
us
too.
Okay. But I made this because I love this countenance.
Okay.
But I love more his hat.
His hat is very okay.
Ethiopian culture is so complex.
That's true.
And
the diversity of it.
The diversity is incredible. And how, and as you get more and more into it, what is diversity of the people as a groups and regions or tribes, diversity of belief, religions, all of it, and the diversity of history.
Absolutely.
It's just all incredible. And I hope that everybody else will come and see all these words.
Yes, like I didn't know about.
And go Google them.
Okay.
Or go to my website, chesterhiggins.com, and you can see more of the work I've been doing in Ethiopia for the last 30 years. Because my first time was in 1973.
Oh.
And I photographed His Majesty in 73 for during the OAU.
That's what I heard, yeah.
And I just hope as people come by, it provokes them, it makes see what they're looking at, and it creates a lot of questions. What am I looking at, and then as they try to resolve that and appreciate that, that's the glory of the creative exchange.
Wow, beautiful. Amazing.
So this is I think if I ever do a book on Ethiopia, I may call it, Stars of Ethiopia, because my feeling is that, one thing about being in your country is that, you're 5,000 or 6,000 feet above sea level.
That's true.
And at nighttime, with the stars, the heavens so full of stars, to me, metaphorically, it looks like I'm looking at the floor of heaven.
Oh, wow.
This must be the floor of heaven that's above me, because you can feel like you can touch it. So for me, the people, the culture, the history are sort of like, droplets of starlight. So that's why I say Stars of Ethiopia.
You're wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I learned a lot.
Good.
Thank you.